Have you looked around lately? Have you seen the injustice around us? Have you seen the wrongdoing? Egypt has placed a puppet king over us. We are forced to pay heavy taxes. Our priests are leading the people in pagan worship in God's temple. The poor are neglected and worse, taken advantage of. So I asked God about this. I asked, how long, Lord, must I call for help, but you do not listen? Or cry out to you violence, but you do not save? Why do you make me look at injustice? Why do you tolerate wrongdoing? Who dares speak to God thus? Who am I, you ask? I'm a prophet of Yahweh's holy temple. You might know my counterparts. Friends of mine, Jeremiah, Zephaniah, Nahum. My name is Habakkuk. You think I was a bit incredulous, speaking to God like this? You might be right. I ask questions not because I don't trust him. I just don't understand what he's doing here. Have you ever had events in your life? Tragedies that don't make sense, and it's like God isn't near. It's like he doesn't listen to my prayers. Have you encountered this? I know God's here. He answered me. Yes, he did answer, but I wasn't prepared for what he said. He never told me why he hadn't acted yet or why he took so long in answering me. But he did answer. He said, "Look at the nations and watch and be utterly amazed." I mean, that sounds pretty good, right? Like, not as your typical doom and gloom kind of prophecy that we're used to. He said, "For I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe, even if you were told." Sounds pretty good, right? God's showing his might. He's getting ready to step in. He's answering my prayers. And then he said, "I am raising up the Babylonians." That ruthless and impetuous people who sweep across the whole earth to seize dwellings not their own. God told me that he was bringing judgment on Judah. Us! God's bringing down judgment on us. This isn't what I meant when I asked him to step in and get involved. Less than 100 years ago, Israel was wiped out by Assyria. Then, the Babylonians see this, they step in, they wipe out Assyria, and all the while, Egypt sees an opportunity and they step in against us. They prop up a puppet king who dances around. Really? Now, God's going to bring his wrath upon us? Now we're going to be utterly destroyed? Judah has Jerusalem, the holy city. In it, the holy temple, God's dwelling. Now, it's to be utterly destroyed? And if that wasn't enough, God wasn't satisfied by simply answering with words. He then showed me a vision. God is raising up a horrible people to destroy us. I saw an army riding in like wolves, vicious, swooping in like eagles and devouring our nation. Furthermore, I saw the Babylonians as if they were fishermen, casting down their nets, the fish of the sea, the people of the earth. And they were pulling them up in droves and devouring them. Judah was among them. Judah. I spoke again, pleading with God this time. You, Lord, have appointed them to execute judgment. You, my rock, have ordained them to punish. Your eyes are too pure to look on evil. You cannot tolerate wrongdoing. Why then do you tolerate the treacherous? Why are you silent while the wicked swallow up those more righteous than themselves? These Babylonians are worse than we, and yet you call them to devastate us? How is this justice? How is this righteousness? Your chosen people, God. We come from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. God was not finished there, but his answer did not come quickly. So I waited. I went up to the ramparts, the wall that surrounded the city. I got away from the hustle and the bustle and the movement and the noise. Have you ever done that? Just got away from the busyness, pulled away and spent time with the Lord. So I was resolved to myself that I would take up my watch post and I would wait on the Lord for what he would say, as if waiting for a messenger with news from the outside. He did answer me. Finally, he replied, and he did not make excuses for his actions. Instead, he told me his future judgment on the Babylonians. Hope that the wrath that was coming wasn't the end. There was something beyond. His future judgment came out in 5 woes. Woe to him who piles up stolen goods and makes himself wealthy by extortion. This is what the Babylonians have been doing for some while. With Assyria and other nations, their reputation precedes them. Woe to him who builds his house by unjust gain. Woe to him who builds a city with bloodshed and establishes a town by injustice. Why is building a town on bloodshed so bad? Let me tell you. Noah got off the ark after 40 days and 40 nights. And the Lord said, you can now eat meat, but do not shed the blood of human beings, the images of God. I must say, it sounds like messing with the image of God might make God a little grumpy. Woe to him who does so. Woe to him who gives drink to his neighbors, pouring it from the wineskins like they are drunk, so that they can gaze on their naked bodies. Woe to him who strips people from what they can do, who holds and oppresses the poor. This is what God was talking about. Woe to him who says to wood, come to life, or to lifeless stone, wake up. Woe to him who builds idols and pretends like it would give good or solid advice. Yes, the Babylonians are deserving of God's wrath. And yet, God is pouring out his judgment on us, Judah. For we have done these very same things. Have we not raised idols up and put them in our temples as if they are equal with our God Yahweh? Have we not in our hearts taken things that are external, that are man-made, and put our trust in them as if they were gods? Perhaps we are deserving of what we're getting. He showed me another vision. I saw that the sun and moon stood still in the heavens at the glint of your flying arrows, God's flying arrows, at the lightning of your flashing spear. In wrath you strode through the earth, and in anger you threshed the nations. You came out to deliver your people, to save your anointed one. Judah, bad times are coming, but there is hope for restoration on the other side. What I have found in my walk with God, what I have found in this conversation, is that having questions of God is not wrong. And trusting Him does not equal understanding Him or His actions. Did you catch that? Trusting God does not equal understanding Him or His actions. God is big enough for our questions. He can and often does answer them, though not always as we expect. When I called for help, I wasn't expecting God to announce judgment by the Babylonians. That's not what I wanted. My dad always told me, don't ask questions to which you don't want the answer to. Perhaps I should have taken that advice, but he did answer. Even still, His ways are not our ways. His ways are greater than ours. So when things happen in our life that we don't understand, tragedies seem to befall us, and it doesn't make sense, we have to know. We have to trust in the goodness and the strength and the justice and the righteousness of our God. And know that sometimes we just don't understand because His ways aren't our ways. And that's okay. And when sometimes things are not as we think they should be, we must then trust that He, not we, He is God. Though the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes on the vines, though the olive crop fails and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen and no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in my God, my Savior. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. He enables me to tread on the heights. It is my God that gives me strength, and it is through trusting in Him that strength comes about. So those things in your life that are causing you to ask questions, don't be afraid of them. They're not bigger than your God. Our God is bigger than our struggles. So trust in Him.